All right, we are coming live from the Showcase Pod from the 1776 studio. We are Puerto Rican free, and I do believe somebody is down for the count. I think the infirmary is going to see Don Vega tonight. So he is out. We'll give you an update. Hopefully you'll be ready for coming up on the upcoming shows, which will go through coming up soon. But Danny,
what's going on, man?
We had a phenomenal Valentine's Day. It wasn't lovey-dovey. It was all about wrestling. Those who are wondering, Danny was not there because he had to be with his Valentine's. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that being said, there is no love lost at Showcase Pro Wrestling. Everything is all set up now for March anniversary. We're going to go over some of the match card on that. The cards coming up. Give some highlights, and we'll take it from there. Danny, what do you got?
All right, so we got next week. Hang on one second. We get this screen all set up here.
Oh, you want to tell them everything about next week already?
Yeah. Spill the beans, man.
Spill the beans early, Danny. All right, let's go.
Hang on one second. Says, first of all, we can plug out to Endeavor Sports Fishing.
God damn it. We're like 30 seconds in. You already giving plugs?
Yep. Well, the plugs in. So, what card did you talk about?
Oh, you're killing me, kid. All right, so the card coming up. All right, so Danny, you were not there in Taunton, right?
No.
But it was the final set going into March anniversary. I think two of the big things that came out of there is, one, we know Don Vega is accepted the open challenge to Rainbow Godfrey, going for the Sons of Liberty Championship. Matt Thompson kind of pushed his way through literally Rambo's ego. So on March anniversary, open challenge, Matt Thompson, Rainbow Godfrey, ladder match one more time.
That was an epic one last year, man.
I'll be honest with you, I don't like watching those. I know the fans love them. It's not my style of match. I always look at the welfare of the talent in there, but those two talking about taking each other to the limit, for them to do it one more time, and you know, Matt, I think was kind of smart because based on the contracts that we had, Matt was not supposed to get another title shot, but he poked Rambo's ego, and Rambo bit. So with that being said,
good for him. That's crazy. He's in trouble, man, because he's got to deal with Don Vega,
he is.
Matt Thompson, whoever the winner of the gauntlet is.
Well, actually, you know, I didn't even think of that. That Rambo, for the first time, a champion. You know, he is a double champion first time March anniversary, one person, two title defense. And Danny, that was pretty smart. I didn't even think of that. That what happened if somebody wins the gauntlet?
Yep.
And now Rambo has to wrestle 3 times.
So if Rambo goes through a table from the ladder match or something, somebody could come out, cash in, steal the title.
All right, so Rambo, when Danny wins, he just told you how he was going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's a huge possibility. I think we also announced, which you will bring up the match card. Do you have the women's special women's match? Bring that up. All right, you want to read off the names to the
Eva
women?
Della Rosa versus Nat Castle. It's got to be a good match. And Eva Della Rosa, she's the Puerto Rican women's champion. She's got a bunch of championships, and yeah, she's really awesome. So I think that's going to be a good match. And I'm not too familiar with Nat Castle, but I know Eva Della Rosa. If you guys want to see some good women action, she's one of the best in the business.
Well, it is. I mean, we don't do a lot of women matches. Evie is definitely not a stranger. She's been in and out of Showcase, you know, for many years. But it is. It's March anniversary. It's big matches. People are stepping up. Fans wanted it, and then we booked it. So congratulations, Don Vega, for the championship committee that put out this great match, which is great. Again, the fans want it. We got it. Tag team division. Holy shit, did that explode. All right. So we had a couple of singles matches throughout the night with the various teams. Everything is set now. Showcase Wrestling, Tag Team Championships, Los Toxicos, you have Higher Learning, you have, I almost said the wrong name again, I almost said PG-13, but is 17 Jump Street, we have Candido and Cabral, and then we have the consistent ones.
Wow, tag team divisions
So
really
talking
spawned.
about, I mean, and we were talking about this for for last year or so that we're trying to rebuild the tag team division, and right there it's 5 tag teams. And ironically, some of the things coming up is my anniversary time, and with that, we get a lot of inquiries for new talent who want to come in. Just got a lot of inquiries recently regarding tag teams. So it's an opportunity. So if you are a talent out there, I'm going to say in the New England area, because that's typically the easiest way to travel. You want to earn a spot, you want to take somebody's spot, March Anniversary is the place to do it. Hit us up at SP Wrestling on all of our social media. Say, hey, I want to be in there. Typically, we always ask, send a couple of photos, and also send a match. We always tell people to do bell to bell, and that is really entrance to entrance. So we want to see how you interact with the crowd. We want to see, how you look. Again, don't send us a highlight reel because that doesn't really give us like the true you. And don't worry about the wins or losses. We don't care if you lose all the time. We don't care if you win all the time. When you come down here, it's all about opportunity.
We've seen a lot of people take that advantage last year.
Well, and I think that's the important part. And I did reach out. I talked to some contacts out of state, based in New York. They're looking at some of their talent, to bring in, which is great. And that's the key part is opportunity. Anyone who does not know, all the tickets are on sale. ShowcaseProWrestling.com. March Anniversary 18, but it's on March 14th. And so anyone who asks about the format on that, 7:47 is the bell time. Normally we open the doors a half an hour earlier, right? On March Anniversary, the doors will open at 7. But what that means is at 7 o'clock, if you bought your ticket online prior and you screenshot it or bring a printout, you're going to get into the venue early, right? If you are a cash buyer coming in to buy your tickets that night at 7:17, you will have the opportunity. Now that is Taunton is a limited venue. Average is about 175. We are updating some of the seating so we can try to do a little bit more on that, but it is limited seating. It typically always sells out. Standing room only. It's obviously it's our biggest show of the year. You have some of the matches going on there, which kind of goes into the announcement that we're actually going to do tonight. So with that being said, we are setting up for next week, instead of being live in the studio in Warwick, the 1776 studio with Danny, we are going to be coming live from the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, same time of 9 o'clock. We're going to do our March Anniversary press conference. We're going to have some of the talent on the card. Again, everybody is welcome to be on there, so we're trying to coordinate the talent that will be there. But that is a March Anniversary press conference. We will keep everybody posted, everything on social media, which again is SP Wrestling. If you haven't joined the fan page, just go on Facebook, look under Showcase Wrestling Fans. That is where we usually post things earlier. We'll be posting some upcoming dates coming up from now into May. Again, that's going to go first there. With that being said, Danny, you are going into March Anniversary. I've seen your stuff on social media, Danny. You are plugging March Anniversary. You are eager to get in for that gauntlet.
Oh yeah, because like last year, it was Drew #1, lasted over an hour in the ring, believe it or not. And I was like, oh man, he took the whole ring and throw me out. And I'm like, it was like that close, So since I joined Showcase, it's like, one day, it's a dream mine, goal of mine for Showcase Pro Wrestling is to win that gauntlet. And just go on to win the World Heavyweight title for Showcase Pro Wrestling. It's a goal of mine, but for first year, the first 2 years, it was a tag team with Buck, and the tag team's done now. So now I'm concentrating full singles here. So my eyes are set for the heavyweight title. But speaking of the heavyweight title, man, and just think of this for a minute. We just talked about this. Rambo, right? If he manages to get through Don Vega, then Matt Thompson, then manages to survive whoever the winner is, to me, I would have to say if Rambo walks out of March Anniversary as with the both titles, I mean, I would have to acknowledge him as like the best in the business.
No, I mean again, I think his mouth got him in trouble over the years.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he's been backing up. But I think March Anniversary, I'm seeing the downfall of Rambo Godfrey. And it's not a negative. He has literally, as Danny Cabral would say, stacking it up, right? Rambo has a lot of talent, but he also has a lot of opposition that night. So with that being said, Rambo, train, get ready, because even actually, let's get into it right now. From now until March anniversary, we have 2 events coming up. We have on March 1st, we're coming up in Upton. You want to bring that up, Danny?
Sure.
So we have Upton, we're doing the BBT for the class of 2025, we're doing a fundraiser. So I'm sure in pure Rambo fashion, he is going to look to make an open challenge. That's what he's been doing. I got to give him credit. You know, he doesn't care who he challenges. So I'll be honest with you, some days the challenges have been a little bit too easy, you know. But other times, you know, he puts it out there. I think obviously with Don Vega when he stepped up, that's not a challenge that I think Rambo wanted, but he accepted it. He was a man about it. So we'll get into those stories down the line between the history with Rambo and Vega. But we also actually have, on that day, we have a poster being posted probably the next 24 hours that one of the faculty of BBT, Patrick O'Connell, will actually be, is it O'Connell or O'Donnell? Patrick, I know I butchered it. Let me get it right. He is going to be a special enforcer at BBT.
That's an exciting show, yeah.
Yeah, I screwed up, Patrick.
And I'll be there, guys, so. Yeah,
Right,
it's
but
gonna be
Patrick's going to be a special enforcer. He's going to be a referee for the night. Let's find out. I mean, Patrick, he's one of their own. You know, some people don't realize Patrick is a former veteran. He works at BBT. He also trained a little bit for Showcase for Wrestling. So this is, ironically, when we booked this last year, it was going to be Patrick's debut. But there was some things that Patrick had going on that didn't allow him to do that. So Patrick's ready. Patrick's been coming down. He's been training at the center, getting some tips from some of the referees. He looked really good on this Tuesday. So don't whatever match or matches he's involved in, don't think you're going to push him around or his little green pea, you know.
And you can see the focus in Don Vega because it brings, you know, this coming show.
Well, I can't see anything right now.
March anniversary. And
So Don Vega, how you focusing over there? You look a little, you know, a little invisible today.
I mean, he's been determined for that Sons of Liberty Championship because he's had every title and accolade in Showcase Pro Wrestling except for that one championship. And I'm telling you, Rambo, he's been backing himself up. Yeah, I think Don Vega has got his number, man. And because you can see the laser focus in Don Vega. He wants that championship, so it's going to be crazy. But this coming Saturday, Don Vegas is March anniversary, and yeah. So could he accept the open challenge? Because Rambo says he's got open challenge that night. So
he does. To the best of my knowledge, you know, the contract is still open March 1st and March 8th because that's how Rambo wants it. So March anniversary could happen early, or what happened? 2 events before March 1st. What happened if something changed? What happened if somebody beat Rambo for one of the titles? What happened if Bionic Dan Badante beats? March 1st, March 8th, Woonsocket, Upton. It's possible. I mean, so that could change everything. And look at the tag team division, right? We have 5 tag teams. I know in Upton we're having at least 4 of the tag teams there. So that could be an upset right there. That, again, March anniversary could be turned up. You know, and never mind the new talent that's trying to come in between now and March anniversary. So they may not be in the ring, but they may be there scouting.
we got 2 shows before March anniversary, and Rambo, you better hold on to those titles because it's gonna be crazy.
All right, so Danny, so you weren't. So those are the main things that came out of Taunton, right? The matches were set up for the tag division, heavyweight. You know, and Sons of Liberty lined up. The women's division was lined up. It's a pretty solid card because when you think about it, and obviously the match that is always the marquee has been the Gauntlet for the Gold. And, you know, that is legitimately random pulling. The fans are literally pulling the name out of it. You know, and the thing about that, you don't know. It's
I don't know either.
And I know I've told the story about Levesque, but look back at the archives. I mean, you just don't know. And in theory, if you have the match before the gauntlet, you could turn around right before you go through the curtain, and you're number one again. And I think that's the important part. It's an opportunity. And ironically, when you think about it, right? So there's two guys that normally get into the gauntlet, right? You have the quote old timers, right? A lot of the guys aren't wrestling full time, semi-retire. They do a couple of shows a year. Then you have the new guys. We have a couple of new guys that are debuting, who's been training at the center for their roughly about 6 months to almost a year. So they're going in there. So you talk about young and hungry. That's an opportunity. Some days that could be a disaster. So they can either have too much energy or not enough, literally strength and endurance to go through. So I'm not gonna get. No, I can't. I'm not gonna give who I think could win that one because you can't. You cannot figure out who's gonna do it.
Yeah, last year I know. I mean, I'm sitting there chatting with somebody, and all of a sudden, like, Dan, you're up. I'm like, what? First, drew number one for the gauntlet. And,
that's my favorite. Like, I remember the first time we did it, and I think it was 3 years in when this is how we crowned the heavyweight champion. And I told us, this is the concept. We're going to do a Royal Rumble style where the fans choose the order. And then you can get eliminated by pinfall, submission, or over the top. And I remember the boys kept asking, all right, so what number am I going out? I said, no, when the fans choose, you're going out. And even until the bell rang and we started doing it, some people were still confused. And I'm like, they're like, what? They go, this is unheard of, Which is every time, after we did it, when I watch the Royal Rumble, I'm like, well, somebody knows who's going out. When we do it, nobody knows who's going out.
Yeah.
And it does. You got to be on top of your game because it is, I mean, as you know, getting that early number, man, it kind of sucks.
Yep.
And in your case, being a big guy over
300.
I was going to say
15
280.
pounds.
No, but I mean, like, you are known for your strength, but you are not, you're not a fast guy. You probably shouldn't be out there for 40, 50 minutes because I can imagine you get gassed, But I know watching your videos at the gym, you are an agile beast out there. So I give you credit for that.
Yeah. And being in the ring for over an hour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and being a veteran, you paced yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the key part. So if I can give any advice, to any, especially the new talent, is pace yourself. Do not. It drives me nuts on the Rumble when people run in. Why are you running?
Yeah.
There's a time that the buzzer goes off that people can come in. We don't tell you how fast you got to get in there. You're not being penalized. So take your time. I know our sick co-hosts won't like the idea of it, but hide in the corner. Make yourself non-visible. Because then people can't find you. You're not getting punished. And hopefully, your odds are better.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, you want to pace yourself, but when you come in, you want to be dominant as well. But you do want to pace yourself. That's
dominant for what? For your ego? No, I want to be near the end. I don't care about eliminating people and picking them up.
I'll try to eliminate some people, but then, try to hang on, survive, and then when you get your opportunity, you take it.
All right. Any comments on the chat?
In the chat room, we got Frank, the announcer. He's in the chat. He says, "What's up?"
What's Frank doing?
Cowboy Willie and
Cowboy Willie.
Yep, and Heather, she's in the chat too. Will Jay Evans be in the gauntlet too?
Yes, Jay Evans will be in the gauntlet. He is. He was actually one of the first people that put his name in the gauntlet.
ZT Outdoors, what's up, man? He's in the chat room too.
So that means if Evans is out there, that means his creepy doll Annabelle. And probably, the Dr. RW, so.
What would happen if she won? Is she going to be?
Well, you don't know. I mean, it is an opportunity.
Yeah.
When the names are put in there, the names are put in there.
Yeah.
So the question is, if the creepy doll Annabelle gets her name pulled, right, who's going to eliminate her? I don't think I would touch her.
Yeah, God knows what kind of supernatural stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see. It was funny when she first started coming out a couple of years ago. I would watch. People would watch the match, and they would watch her. You know, and she is a distraction. You know, because of that, and I don't know what power she has over people, but I don't know what it is. So
Well,
Jay Evans, whatever you got. Use it all because it's time for you to make a statement on there. He is the current YouTube champion, and what's a better way to be an internet sensation by running through the talent and showing everybody how good you are.
The thing is, we got all these champions, right? But you know, everybody that has a championship, you got to remember. Saturday, March 1st, we get the BVT fundraiser there, and about the Master. And the next Saturday, March 8th, Saturday night's main event back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. And anything could happen within these two shows. And you know, Rambo, open challenge for both these shows. Will he even go into the gauntlet go into...
oh, he threw that one up there, too. I didn't even know that one. What happened if Rambo... Actually, he could.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a contracted Showcase Pro Wrestling talent, you know, you have been invited to enter the gauntlet. Now, not everybody has said they will, but I didn't even think of that one. What happened if Rambo does go in the gauntlet?
Yeah.
So that means he could lose his title, and then if he wanted to call it in, he could try to get a title shot after he loses it.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So at the end of March Anniversary 18, we could have a whole shake-up in this Showcase Pro Wrestling. Whole new champions or whatever.
Danny, I knew you were known as the conspiracy theory. I just didn't know how much.
It's a conspiracy, yeah. So, you know, hopefully we could change the face of pro wrestling here. And, yeah, I think March Anniversary is going to be a big show, and it's going to change the face of the Showcase Pro Wrestling. I think we're going to see a lot of new champions. And I'm 99% sure Don Vega is walking away with the Sons of Liberty title. And Matt Thompson, man, like he got screwed last year. Got screwed out of the world title.
Oh my God! If people lose, why do people think they get screwed? What are you going to say?
Rambo hasn't given him a title shot yet. You know, you kept avoiding him.
But that was a stipulation, and Matt agreed, and that was it.
I mean, me and Matt Thompson, we go back and forth. I mean, like several times, man. And I got to hand to the guy. I mean, he's good.
Okay, this is a good question, right? So when you and your former tag team partner, you know, didn't get the job done in September, right? Did you reach out to Matt Thompson and try to be a tag with him?
No, but I mean,
but we think about it. You guys had great matches, right?
Yeah.
You guys beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
You literally would be the biggest team in Showcase Pro Wrestling. I don't know why you didn't already do it.
Some of the fans brought that up too, and I think if me and Matt Thompson were tag team, I think we'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean it's a thought. So
yeah.
I'll only take 15% off that one, Danny. 15% off the contracts on that one.
That'd be a beast team right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a heavyweight title shot, March Anniversary, and yeah, Rambo's in trouble after all, I have to say, man.
Yeah, no, the more you put it out there. So some of the questions, right, so Danny, some of the things I saw on the internet this week around in wrestling, and this kind of got me thinking, right? So did you hear the rumor that Goldberg is looking to have one more match?
Why, waiting time for WrestleMania?
So my question is, right, supposedly it looks like he's doing, I don't want to say, every time you say rehab, people think of like drugs, but it looks like he did a lot of rehab, great shape, looks like he did some stem cell therapy, so he feels good. So my question is, Danny, when's enough's enough? Because the question is, because you know, and I remember we used to be, the Showcase for Wrestling used to be known as like the retirement factory, right? Because I always thought, you know, if somebody wanted to retire, let's do it the right. How do you want to go out, right? Who do you want to wrestle? You don't want your friends and family there, you know, kind of put something together.
Yeah.
But then guys retire, right? And ironically, a lot of times they feel better because they lost weight. They're not in the ring. They're not taking the bumps. Some days they feel better because they got rid of ex-wives or ex-girlfriends, right?
Baggage.
No, but you know what I mean? It's funny, but it's not, right? But they feel better for all these reasons. And then they go, you want to wrestle again. And then it's like, a bump is a bump. A bump doesn't discriminate, doesn't know who's doing it, and then your body feels broken again. You know? So the question with that is, should there be an age limit? And who should tell you to retire?
I think, I mean, if you if you're washed up, I mean, they just throw it in.
All right, so what is it? So if you're watching,
I don't think your age would matter too much. I mean, because like there are some guys out there old and they're still going hard, you know.
Yeah.
So
you think it's based off, I would say,
physical shape, I think.
video performance. So if you had to watch yourself,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're losing a step, you should be making, you should be making the call.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone should tell you, but I think if you have friends and family and they're watching your matches and maybe they're not what they should be,
I mean, to a point. I mean, like, yeah, you make your own call, but I think to a point when if you just start sucking, like, I mean, come on, man, just like give it up,
Well, I mean, it's hard too because some days you do need to take time off, right? Some days
Yeah.
you got to get either your health under control, maybe you do have to literally like rebuild yourself. A lot of people do that too. They take a couple years off, they rebuild themselves, get back into ring shape, which is a positive.
Yeah.
But then you have other guys, that the slope keeps going down, 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 and when does it end?
Well, they neglect the essentials. I mean, like hitting the gym is like key. We see a lot of these small guys now and all that, but I mean, like, and when we grew up in the business, I mean, if you didn't hit the gym, you didn't look the part, you were not going to be on the top card, and you had to look like a wrestler.
Well, it was hard because back when I started, if you weren't like 250 and like 6'4", you weren't getting booked. And I was 6'1", 230, and I wasn't a big guy back then. Now, I'm like a monster.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, times have changed, and I think the opportunity for multi-size wrestlers, is there. But ironically, one that we had at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, again, awesome plug coming up right now, where we train Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. One of the, and you'll laugh, Danny, one of the biggest problems we have with the talent, we have a lot of young talent, that some of them, they do go to the gym, they don't eat enough.
Yeah.
Like literally, some of them come in, it's like it's 6:30. I say, great. What meal are you on? They go, meal 3. It's like, okay, where's your meal replacement? Where's your dinner? Oh, when I get home. It's like you have to eat. I don't know about you, Danny. I never had that problem. I always had the opposite. So I don't understand. So if you're a young talent and you're skinny and you look like this, do me a favor, eat. Eat.
Yeah, especially.
But on the other hand, right? So we've had a couple of guys, and if you look at, I'll tell some success stories. Look at Danny Cabral. Danny's a younger guy, and if you look at him, perhaps about 4 years ago, he put on some muscle. I don't have the exact how much poundage he put on, but it had to be almost at least 10 pounds.
Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, remember a year ago, he's like the skinny kid.
Yeah, skinny kid.
He's got some muscle.
Like Danny was cut, but he wasn't big, and he's getting bigger. AZ, as much as the Mr. Link over here, is not a big fan of his. AZ, he's a young kid. He's doing really well. He put on about 22 pounds in about a year and a half. And that's because he's constantly looking at his diet. And I said, hey, what's your secret? And so you may want to write this down, right? George Foreman Grill. That was the secret. He goes, it's easier to cook, easier to prepare, easier to prep. Right? So look at that picture. Hey, bring that poster up right there. Look at AZ, right?
Yep.
So look, if anyone has a picture of him about a year and a half ago, when he debuted, he's not the same.
No.
He's a bigger kid. Imagine another year.
Yep.
If you can put on another 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? He's really a rising star.
Yeah, he's got a lot of definition now. You can tell he's getting some mass. And
he is. And a lot of times it's hard for us to notice because we're seeing people a couple days a week. Is when we don't see them is when we notice, most of it.
Yeah. That's the thing, and now we got in the Showcase Training Center, we got a bunch of weight training equipment.
Yep.
And so there's no excuse. Get there, get the weight training in, get in the ring, get the work done. And it's like, that's part of the business, man. If you don't like the gym, you're not going to be good at pro wrestling. I mean, and it's not going to be good to your body because in the gym, you got to hang and bang in the gym. When you get into the ring, it's like, it's a combination of both. You got to live in the gym and live in the ring. That's what you need to do.
Well, it's part of the formula, and obviously you got to do your diet. But when it comes, and people forget this, right? studying. You have to study the footage. You got to watch footage. You got to be a student of it, and you have to get better.
Yeah.
And people forget about that. So it's just not about doing the physical stuff. Is everything, and dedication. I hate when people are like, oh, that kid's a natural. And I always say, because I remember we had one kid that Vega scouted, young kid, great talent, picking up everything quick, great physiques, like going to the gym. But the problem down the line is he wasn't passionate for. He loved wrestling, but it was just something missing there. He had other interests, and it just, great kid, but he just didn't have that passion for it.
Yeah.
For the longevity. Because sometimes it is. It's harder than what people think. It's more physical than what people think. You can love it, but you have to. You literally have to put everything to it. And we have we have a lot of young kids right now between about 15 to about 23. And we tell them that it's like, if you guys are on the perfect age if you want to put yourself to it, and you have to dedicate yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a commitment because you put your body through more abuse than a stuntman, literally, and just for fun too. You beat the shit out of each other for fun.
Like I know when I started, right? I was going training, 3 to 4 days a week, right?
Yeah.
I had my work schedule, and then I had my training schedule, and you went to the gym. It wasn't a question. And then never mind when you're working shows. I know the biggest thing we used to have a problem is when there wasn't a show, because it wasn't very often. You were working, minimum of once a week. A lot of times it was 2 or 3. But I remember it was like a couple of times a year you would have nothing. And I look over at Kathy. She goes, "What are we doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Oh, there's no wrestling." I'm like,
weird.
I don't know, because you're so used to, packing the car, going on the drive. Is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So and obviously it's a little bit different now, because it's not that schedule is not as regional, to say the least.
Especially both of us, we wrestled for Uncle Joe for a while.
It did, and at that time, Joe was one of the top promoters. Did over 100 shows a year.
Yeah.
And it kept you busy.
Yeah.
And that's the key part is you kept busy.
Yeah, every Friday, Saturday night, sometimes Sundays, and in the summertime we had festivals sometimes, like the Whale City.
No, you did. You used to have the festivals.
Yeah.
You had the outside fairs. It was just different. And I'm not saying different is always better, but you got the reps in. And I think nowadays we have more training opportunities. I think the training, I don't want to say is better, but I think is more relevant. I know what we do compared to what we used to do years ago is we're building and building and building and redoing the foundation. We're back, years ago, maybe you didn't do it as much, or you didn't always have the mentors to grind you to do that. You maybe have the veteran that you would go on the car ride, but you may not have that veteran that would take the time at the facility and grind it through.
Yeah.
Right. Any fans questions there?
Oh, Frank says diet is key, which is 100%. Diet is key. Even though I'm not one to talk here because I'm a powerlifter, so that's why I got the little gut. But I want to get rid of this gut because it's disgusting. I think. But if you're a wrestler and you don't do powerlifting, I would suggest definitely try to get rid of that belly fat and all that stuff. And you want to get big too, but also keep that fat away and be nice and trimmed and all that.
Well, workout is also a huge part of it, but your diet, usually people would think workouts is, good 80%. It's the other way around. Workout is 20, diet is 80. And our friend Frank over there knows a little bit about that, and
he's jacked.
We should have Frank on the show coming down. There's a lot of good information that Frank has. Frank actually has a pretty good story. So Frank, if you're listening, let's figure out your Thursday schedule, probably after March anniversary, just based on how we're going. Because the idea is we want to come back in the studio, do a live in studio before March anniversary. So we're probably not going to have Frank there. But Frank, check your schedule. We'll have you on there because I think it could be pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into, all right, so we already did some of the shows. Actually, let's do a plug right now that we haven't seen. Do you have the Austin Aries flyer?
No.
You don't? All right. Let me. I think I saved it. Let me. See.
Oh, was that on showcase page?
Yeah, I did. I did put it up on the showcase page. Let me. I think I have it on my photos. Yeah. Come. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? All right. So I'll. Yeah, bring it up. Bring it on the showcase page and bring up the Austin areas. Do you see it?
I don't. Oh, with the seminar there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to put that up. I apologize.
Yeah. No. Bring that up. So
No.
that is. You got it there?
No.
Where is it? All right. Go to. Where'd it go? Let's bring it up. I thought I saved it. I don't know why I didn't. All right. Where the match? All right. There it is. Bum Danny. I'm going to send it.
Send it to. Here we go. No, yeah, I don't got it yet.
Yeah, I thought I saved it here. Let me send it via Messenger, and we'll pop it up, and I'm going to tell a little story behind that of the connection.
While he's doing that, guys, just want a quick rundown. Next show's coming up.
Boom. All right, I just sent it.
February. We got. I'm sorry, March 1st, 2025. Here we got the fundraiser for the BVT. It's 65 Pleasant Street in Upton, Massachusetts. Bell time's 5 p.m. So it's an early
That's
start.
the key part right there. It's 5 p.m. is an earlier show than we normally do.
Then next Saturday after that, on the 8th, is we're back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Bell time 7:07. And then, of course, March anniversary on the 14th, 18th anniversary. It's going to be awesome. And it's Taunton VFW, 82 English Street, Taunton, Massachusetts. And here, we click on any one of these tickets here to buy the tickets. You could click on any one of the shows and get your tickets now. And I would suggest that you can get the March anniversary tickets because the last 2 years this is my third March anniversary going into, and both been, packed. We had people standing up just to get in. And so I would definitely get your seats while you can because these tickets are going quick. And
just to let you know, when you do bring it up, all the seats are $15. You can sit anywhere and everywhere. You can sit on ringside. No matter where you want to sit, all general seating is nice and easy. Well, if you look at BBT, those have ringside and those have bleachers. But normally what we try to do with a lot of the venues that we run at, a lot of them, they're smaller open spaces. So we try to make it easier, literally for our staff, that you can sit wherever you want. So if you bring the kids, you want the kids to sit in the front row, fantastic. You want to sit in the back row, that's fantastic. Whatever you want to do, it makes it easier. So right there, so you see Austin Aries? So that is an Austin Aries seminar. That is in conjunction with Powerhouse New England, which they're running a show the following night, which is up in Sturbridge. But they're bringing in Austin Aries, so he's going to be wrestling BRG. Let's see if it can be Sweet Victory coming up. But if you look at it, so that is open to all trained, potentially non-trained wrestlers. What it isn't, it is not a photo op. It is not a meet and greet. If you want to learn about pro wrestling, if you want to learn a little bit more about pro wrestling, find out some, say, not stories, but tips, techniques, mistakes, success. And that's Austin Aries right there. Especially the young talent. Seminars like this, you're gonna, hopefully you pick up one or two good nuggets that can either turn around your career or make your career better. And that's the whole idea.
And this guy's been around, man.
Learning is earning.
Yeah.
And that's what people forget. You have to invest in yourself to get better. And a guy like Austin Aries, he's probably, I don't even remember the last time he was in the area. It was probably for WWE. Or possibly Impact years ago, but that's it. You're probably never going to see Austin Aries in this area again. So if you ever wanted to pick his brain and get some idea, of him, that's what it's there for. So that link right there, it will be showing up. That is, you can typically go to Powerhouse NE on social media. The link right there. They are doing the full registration, but it will be held at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. That's a Friday night. I believe it's a Friday the 28th. Start time is 6:30. So bring your notebook, bring your gear, bring your questions. let's start actually making wrestling better
And
for
he's
you.
experiences they come. He's been a champion in TNA, WWE, and Ring of Honor. That's huge. That really is. And he's
Yeah,
got
no, it's huge.
huge
And
talent.
I'll be honest, one of the things I did not do as a younger wrestler is I didn't take advantage of of seminars like this.
Yeah.
Well, you should have.
I should have myself. Yeah.
And that's, again, part of being a trainer is having people not make mistakes that you made. That was one of them,
Yeah.
I didn't go to, trainings. I mean, I think it was a little bit different. There wasn't a lot of them, but typically we were wrestling. We weren't having the availability for that. But this is a Friday night. Leave the girlfriend at home. Leave the boyfriend at home. Make the drive. Come up from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. And guess what? If you're coming up on Friday, it's a good shot that you potentially can get booked the next night, for, Powerhouse New England. So it's a win-win situation. And people forget about this, right? When we Showcase Pro Wrestling, we do a lot of events with Powerhouse New England. And then you look at the next weekend when you have Royal Crown Wrestling coming up, right? They're not affiliated with us, but they're associated with us. So you can get a win-win there. You can potentially get, booked and seen by 3 companies between Showcase Pro Wrestling, Powerhouse, New England, and also Royal Crown Wrestling. So invest your money, drop it over there. If you do have any questions, you can reach out at SP Wrestling, or click the link there on Powerhouse.
And speaking of that, toward the end of March 21st, we got Royal Crown Wrestling. They're where are they? In Marblehead, Massachusetts.
Yep, that is a debut. That is on a Friday.
Yeah.
So that is a Friday night, which I think is actually pretty good. Our friends over there, a lot of new talent they're bringing up. I don't know if you want to bring them an event poster there, but those
Parker
tickets.
Baudet is going to be there.
Yep, those tickets are available, and again, that you're going to see.
RoyalCrownWrestling.com.
You're going to see a lot of mixed talent. You're going to see. He brings in a lot of different national talent. Some days are not nationally known, but he brings them in from different parts of the states. So when he's actually bringing them in, you could get the first glimpse of a superstar that may pop up to one of the major promotions. And I think that's what people undervalue with the indies. You have no idea who these organizations are going to pick and pop up, on their roster. So you could hypothetically, you could see AZ up there, you could see Danny Cabral up there, or any talent, that is not signed for Powerhouse and for Royal Crown Wrestling.
Then March 29th, Powerhouse Wrestling. Don Vega is going to be defending his championship, and he's a Powerhouse heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And this will be in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, at the hotel 366 Main Street in Sturbridge, Mass. And Don Vega, AZ will be there as well. He'll be going against Nunzio. The FBI, Nunzio.
Yep, and those who forget that from obviously we're shooting right now from Warwick, so that is just about an hour. It's near literally Sturbridge Village. So anyone that goes out there who had the misfortune as a small child to go to Sturbridge Village, you go there was a Quaker village out there. Did you do that when you were a kid?
No.
Oh, it was terrible. Right, but the great part is Chris Otaro's Powerhouse New England is going to redeem all those bad field trips as a kid. But again, from this area here, it's just about an hour to get there, which is not a bad drive. And look at this way, look at the card, PCO, right off of coming off of TNA.
Yep.
Big match there, Nunzio, hopefully he doesn't touch AZ's hair. Not really good, and then we have, BRG, coming up. So, that's a star card. And then you have Evie De La Rosa will be on that card too.
Yep.
So,
And Vega in a street fight.
Yep.
Defending his Powerhouse Heavyweight Championship. So it's going to be a good match against PCO. They got a lot of matches here, and yeah.
Yeah, and we will be posting the showcase dates coming up, but offhand we're going back to Woonsocket. I believe it is on the 5th of April, and I believe it's the Friday the 11th. We're back in Taunton. Everything is a little bit earlier because of how Easter falls. So that's why we're going a little bit earlier. Well, a lot of times we have to go later in the month of April.
Yeah, and that, and you want to plug end of our sports.
Right, let's
again?
do stuff right now. So I call him Captain Kyle, but Kyle's not a captain. He's but yeah, that's a picture of the boat that they use. They do charter fishing. They are booking now for the spring season. Supposedly, they're putting the boat in about 3 weeks. Now that's kind of hard for me to see just based on the weather, but you know, when I talked to Kyle the other day, he was getting stuff prepped for the boat. So there's the link over there. If you want to book charters, I'm going to go down and see Kyle in a couple of weeks when they start getting everything going. But if you ever want to do it, just do it. And then, you want to bring up the next one?
Where in the world?
Where in the world is Joe Davis? Who would have thought Joe Davis is taking the world? We should have like Joe Davis versus the world coming up. Maybe that's even better. So we're coming up. That is Joel's venture coming out for comedy. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe the first date is in Woonsocket on the 12th. Is that correct?
Yep, April 12th. Yep.
April 12th. That is a fundraiser. I don't have the details in front of me, but is Jay Hollywood, one of the teams that he actually puts together as a fundraiser for them. Showcase again we are going to be in the house there, but that you're going to support a couple people. You're going to support a great youth organization. You're going to support Joe Davis, and then obviously by seeing his personalities from Showcase. So
Yeah, it's a good night out too.
that would be a good one, and a little plug over there. If you look at Real Deal Fitness and Conditioning, Joel has a lot of content. Literally, when I was waiting to come in, Danny, I saw Joe's fight in 2011, his MMA debut. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I saw that. So, and literally, I told him, I said, that was ballsy. Most people would not step in the cage. He stepped in the cage, and the dedication he put in there. So I give you credit for that.
Yeah, he's done a lot. MMA, Jerry
He is.
Springer twice.
And the fact that I looked at, that was like 14 years ago that he stepped in the cage.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's pretty good.
He tried it. And, I mean, he did good though. He held his ground, and proud of him. Me and him used to be tag team champions in UCW, and we had. I've known this guy for a long time.
Yeah, I know. Dealing with, I always tell people Joel, man. He is authentic. He is who he is. He does not shy away. But if you want a guy that figure you can reach out anytime, that he's he'll be there for you.
Question is, will he be in the gauntlet?
I cannot confirm or deny that one because legitimately I've not had that conversation with him.
And maybe Johnny Rotten will be in it too.
Yeah, I have not had the conversation with either of them. I'll be honest with you, I'm hopefully he is not. Just for the reason, I know there's a lot going on. He's building up literally his brand and the company. So I hope Joe focuses on that one and not, and not taking away from the comedy. So.
Yeah. Be good to see him though. Well, yeah, good stuff, man. And definitely get out there and support Joel. And it's a good night. Yeah, that's something you could bring your girlfriend or your boyfriend to, whatever the case, and have a good time.
Oh, I'm missing a link over here. Supposedly, they say they're going to be some roasting. I don't know. Again, it's different. It's raw, it's real, and it's for fun, and it's for charity. So go out. We'll be sending the links over there for tickets coming up soon for that. But yeah, no, it's a good time. All right. That being said, Daniel, let's start doing some wrap up.
Sure.
Any final comments on?
Just
the
one
chat
people
over there?
In the chat, nope.
Because we do. We like people interacting.
Yeah, just tell my official, as we all know, I'm officially entered.
Yeah,
into the gauntlet.
so if anyone doesn't know, Dan is going to be putting his name in the gauntlet, right?
Yeah. I don't care if I draw number 1, whatever, or number 2. Whatever.
And we all know his plan if he does win, all right?
Yeah.
He's going to cash it in that night. He's going to give Rambo his third loss of the night, supposedly.
Yep.
So that is his game plan. All right, with that being said, last minute plugs. If you ever want to be a pro wrestler, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights, we had an awesome training actually all week, and especially on Wednesday with Coach Kenny. great vibe. We had a couple of new people come down and check it out. Wednesday was actually really good. Literally everybody is busting their ass. We have some new young talent coming in. Hopefully in a couple of months we'll be able to debut them. Probably in about 6 or 7 months on an average. Is what it typically takes the average person. But it all depends too. Obviously safety is number one, and then you have to look good. But then it also comes too with availability on the roster. So if you are a talent out there and you want to expand and start coming into New England and coming in the showcase, send your footage to SP Wrestling on all our social media. We'll take a look at it. That being said, Danny, we are coming and wrapping up from the 1776 studio. We will be sending out the information for this next Thursday coming up, which we are planning on doing a press conference style from the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center. That'll be coming live on YouTube, just like we do every week.
And a good thing too, when we're there, you can check out the school. It's pretty awesome. So they got weight training there. You get in the ring and all that stuff, and you work on your TV, your entrance, everything, all at the one place, and you do it all.
Yeah, I mean the training said usually, so like normally what we do if somebody does want to come down, I usually say come down, we'll have conversation, ask questions, check out the environment, talk to people who are training there, and then we take it from there. But yeah, so that press conference, just it is a closed set. It is not open for fans for next Thursday because we're doing some any last minute promos, videos, and pictures that we need, but that is a closed set. But it will be live, so you never know when you go live what happens. So it could be great, it could be bad, it could be confrontational. With that being said, we will see you next week on the Showcase Pod.